something. I don't know, John, you're like on fire.
You
One
guys
with
are
the
very
force.
high tech,
Jeez,
very
man,
high
you're
tech.
one with the force.
Frankie, I want to be cognizant of your time. We have one more question. Can we sneak one more in?
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is awesome. You guys are amazing. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And when I say you guys, that's just something I say in the South, by the way. I'm trying to learn to say just you,
Vic
all,
in
y'all,
Tennessee, you're
y'all.
up.
All right,
You're our cleanup hitter.
I'm gonna be the pinch hitter, Frankie. I really appreciate you. Thanks for spending time with all of us. I think my final question is going to be really. I think you nailed it with the previous question, like just celebrating from failures. I think just working in a lot of different companies, I don't think we do a really good job of really celebrating out of failures. Like when we, the whole point about innovation, when you do good stuff and it's the inner child and you're being creative, whatnot. How do you get better at that? How do you, like in these days, 90, a lot of people getting laid off, a lot of people can't just really deal with all that budget cuts. I think you nailed it right in your talk. How do you still kind of propel teams and individuals, including myself, right? To continue to kind of build that culture of celebrating failures, because that's not going to stop, right? We're always going to innovate. We're going to harness innovation. The thing about AI that you talked about. So how do you sort of continue to build that passion at the board level, at the leadership level, no matter where you are, maybe even in your own family, right?
That's right.
On a daily basis.
Awesome question. Thank you so much. It's Vik or Vik?
Vik.
Vik. Oh, that's easy. All right, Vik. So thank you for your question. I mean, two things about it is that one, there's failure that's kind of for the organization, and then there's failure as the individual, right? And let's just talk about it at work for a minute, right? So at work, being fired usually or laid off feels like a failure, right? Because I mean, at least the income stream that was happening failed, no matter how you want to spin it. And this isn't about some sort of blind hope message. I want you to know that. Like this is not about just being like, oh, just always be positive and just always be grateful and you'll be fine. It's like, well, not exactly, right? Because we might not be fine. We might have to sell the house or whatever, right? Kids are moving schools and stuff. And so it's more than that, but it is important that we continually challenge ourselves to change our relationship to failure, because the other thing I didn't mention was that a lot of these failures are somewhat perceived, right? If we went around the room, which we don't have time today, but I bet if we could go around the room and every single one of us would tell us, I think about the what's that country song? Garth Brooks. Sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers, right? So if you think about Garth Brooks for a second, you think about that concept, every single one of us could think of something that was devastating at the time that it ended up becoming the greatest gift that ever happened to us, right? You probably have one that's happened to you, Vik. And so that is the mindset we need to be in, because that's the opportunity. So if I get laid off at a job, I'd like to assume that I'm not supposed to be at that job. And the reason I assume that is because I'm not at that job. So I try to keep it kind of simple on it. It's same thing with like AI. So AI is going to potentially take 64 to 87 million jobs, depending on who you ask. Now, that's terrifying, right? What are we going to do in the face of this thing? And so one thing I always tell people is like, first of all, if there's a job that AI can take, and I'm so terrified that AI can take my job, has it occurred to me that maybe I'm doing the wrong job? Okay, maybe I'm just doing something because I think I have to or I'm supposed to. So that's number one. But number two, it also is, studies are saying that it's going to create 107 million jobs. So whatever jobs it's going to take, there's probably going to be an extra 10% it creates, especially in the next 5 to 10 years. So we have two choices, right? We can sit around, cry, put our head in the ground, and hope to God that the servers crash and that AI dies quicker than we have to figure it all out. Or we can complain about how it's currently breaking whatever laws or ethics or whatever it's doing, which they will solve. Okay, all that's going to get solved. First of all, if we're wondering about like if the machine's going to win, the answer is yes, it is. So the quicker we can be like, all right, what if the answer is to let the machine win? Let the machine win. I think it's when we try to fight the river. It's like the true gift is to stop and let the river take you, because now you have your power plus this power that is so much more powerful than you flowing in unison. So when I get fired or the board's going, or there's some problem where like we're getting disrupted, there it is. Step one, get honest about the disruption, get honest about the problem, and then look at where the river's flowing and like, what's our part in that? And that might be finding another river. I don't know. I don't know, but I know that it starts with getting honest about it and really looking at how did we get here, which may be all external forces, usually not, but maybe it is, and that's okay too. So I think it's important that the mindset shift becomes like the gift is the problem. The gift is these things that are quote failures. That's what is innovation? Innovation is solving a problem. Everybody wants to be future focused. Everybody wants to find the next innovation. Cool. Get obsessed with the problem and you will have the next innovation. You will lead the future. If you're obsessed with the problem, you're comfortable with the problem, you're willing to live in the problem when no one else is, you write the future.